Number 8 does not have a line reference, neither did number 7, and so we might need to use the chronology rule to help us here understand where to look. Now, for number 7, we were able to just kind of skim because it involved different names, and we had to go up to here to find the answer. So it's reasonable to expect number 8 to follow that somewhere. So you might just kind of start there, but I think we're going to know when we hit it, and this is why it's so important to really understand the question before you start reading, right? Like, know what you're looking for. There's going to be a lot of hard words in this passage. We've already encountered plenty of them, so we need to make sure we know what we're looking for as we dive in. And the question's pretty clear. The narrator implies that Mrs. Quabarl favors a form of education that emphasizes something. Well, what does Mrs. Quabarl want from her kids' education? So let's just go. Here it talked in the beginning about the kids, but I wish them not only to be taught, said Mrs. Quabarl, but interested in what they learn. It's in capital letters. In their history lessons, for instance, you must try to make them feel that they are being introduced to the life stories of men and women who really lived, not merely committing a mass of names and dates to memory. So not merely memory. Okay. French, of course, I shall expect you to talk at mealtimes several days a week. I shall talk French 4 days of the week and Russian in the remaining 3. Russian, my dear Miss Hope, no one in the house speaks or understands Russian. That will not embarrass me in the least, said Lady Carletta. Okay, I get it. So now they're just being weird with each other. That's fine. So what does it say? What does it say she wants? I don't want them to be taught. I want them to be interested. So we know that D is wrong. It said the opposite of that, right? She's not interested in memorization. There's nothing also about artistic experimentation. Both of those words are problems, right? We kind of mentioned artists and, the artistic temperament before with Irene, but that was one kid, and now we've moved on. So there's not enough to justify that word. Traditional values versus active engagement. To be honest, traditional values sounds a lot like D to me, right? It's a similar thing. Mrs. Quabarl is saying, I want something different. I want the kids to be interested in the material. Another word for interested is engaged. So B fits very well with what we were kind of just explicitly told. So this happens a lot with no line reference questions. If we don't have a line reference, the challenge of the question a lot of the time is finding the answer. But once we find it, it's usually pretty close to the answer choices. Number 7 was a big exception to that, but number 8 kind of gets us back on what I would consider the normal path of no line reference questions. So we use the chronology rule to help us find where to read, but once we have like a kind of chunk to look at, we're more likely to know when we have the answer because the answers for no line reference questions are usually more clear. So trust the process and you should be fine.